First and foremost, let me just tell you the energy on this episode was immaculate. We sat down with Brenda today on behalf of Style by B, and man, she walked us through every single step of her journey from getting into the fashion industry to even before stepping foot in that industry, working in financial services for 15 plus years. Pivoting careers and it really not being the easiest transition from her first semester at FIT, getting pregnant and really losing everything, really just feeling like it was done. Her career was over. Her dreams and aspirations went down the drain. But from there, just keeping her mental and her mindset strong, moving forward and recognizing that if this is what you really love to do, if this is where you think your career lies, then make it happen by all means necessary. So from releasing her memoir, Black Friday of 2023, Styled by Independence, and it really took us through, again, that journey, really just coming into where her interest started from, what she's been able to do, what she's experienced from then, and wanting to share with the people out there. And even if you paid attention in an episode, we might be doing a slight giveaway. So I would tap in if I were you. But one question that I want to present to you before I let Brenda do the rest of the talking. Do you know the average size of the woman in America? It really may surprise you and it really may not be what you think it is when it comes to clothing. So without further ado, I'll let Brenda explain all that and then some. Enjoy episode 173, Keep Hope Alive. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. If you've been keeping up with us, you really realize that we've been moving, we've been grooving. I really feel like we started 2024 off with a bang. Crazy to think that January is almost over, but it's crazy just to really reflect on everything that's happened so far, from just being invited on this Cassandra show to I actually have a couple of more announcements for y'all too. We just did a big thing this past week and I'm very excited for that. Obviously we have some logo drops coming soon, maybe even some new merchandise with that, maybe some giveaways coming. But look, all of that in due time. I appreciate everybody who's just been able to boost us up, from sharing our videos to the feedback you've given us to the congratulatory and well wishes and everything like that. If this is January, I'm excited for the rest of the 11 months of the year. But nonetheless, and I'm not as excited for that as I am to be sitting down with Brenda today. So Brenda is somebody who I was really able to connect with, and we've been connected for quite some time. And I really just have to extend so much grace and thanks to her because she's been very, very patient with me, very understanding with me through my schedule and just everything that I've had going on. But that has not stopped her grind. She's been really killing the game. I've even reposted her a few times from the podcast page. So for those of my people who have been paying attention, watching the story, you've seen what she's been doing, from just her events to just her styling tips and everything like that. But I'm not going to give up too much of what she does. I want her to give y'all everything under the sun. So before we really get into Brenda and everything that she does, how you doing today? How are you?
I'm doing great, Tamar. Thank you. That was an amazing introduction. I appreciate you. Congrats on this Sandra show and everything else you got going on. You're doing your thing out here, and I really appreciate you being an inspiration. Like you showing us like what it can do, like what podcasts can do. How long? I do have a question though. How long have you been doing podcasts?
So this past November of 2023 made 4 years. So we started back in 20
Wow.
during the pandemic. It was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's just hard to find a way to brand myself, and the job search was not as successful and easy as I thought it was going to be coming for my master's. So yeah, November
Mm.
of 2023 made 4 years. Crazy.
That's amazing. So you sticked it out. That's why I wanted to ask you for. I said you survived the pandemic. You've been sticking out doing your podcast. You've been being consistent. You've been showing up. You're on the Sandra show. It's like going up, up, up for you. And I'm so excited for
I,
you and for your journey and everything. And watching you has been amazing as well.
well, thank you so much. I appreciate all of the love and support along the way, and for tapping in with me and staying tapped in with me. So for everybody out there, look, as y'all can tell, as I kind of already alluded to in the intro, we're here to talk about a few things today. Brenda is multi-talented, if I do say so myself, but I'm excited for her to really let you guys know, one, what she does, what she has going on, and maybe even tease a few things that you can expect as we enter this new year, as we work through quarter one and things of that nature. So Brenda, for everybody out there, look, I know we're going to have some people from your network. I know we're going to have some people from my network, but we're always going to have my favorite people who are finding out about both of us for the first time, tapping in with the podcast, tapping in with you. So to bring everybody up to speed, to get everyone on one accord on the same page, can you, one, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then can you, two, just tell us what brings you on the Down to Business podcast today?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. So about me, my name is Brenda Gonzalez. I'm a personal stylist. Gonzalez is Hispanic. I am half Panamanian, first generation American. half Jamaican, half Panamanian. So that is my board name. And I've been a personal stylist professionally for about 5 years. I started my business before, like the year before the pandemic as well. And I've always been into fashion. I went to FIT when I was 22, 21. And I talk about my style journey in my number one best-selling book, actually, Style by Independence. I released a book about a memoir about my life and my styling journey to this point. It came out on Black Friday 2023, and it skyrocketed to the top. It was a number one bestseller for like 5 days. And in there, I talk about like my style journey. So when I was a child, I was into fashion. I didn't know what styling was. I just know I like putting outfits together differently, and it, in a way that pops and draws attention. And as I got older, I went to FIT. I had all these hopes and dreams, and I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I got pregnant my first semester. And I thought that was it for me. But here I am living my dreams again. So I was just talking about my life to that point: life, motherhood, marriage, divorce, balancing your professional life, balancing your professional career, your personal life, and pivoting to a different career. Before I started my styling business, I was a profession. I was in the financial services industry. I was doing insurance for, at the time I finally left, with about 15 years. So it's about like finding a new, and then at that point I pivoted fully. I got divorced in the same year. So it's all about like finding your path and finding your new life in my book. And there is hope for everyone that's thinking about trying a separate, a new career, a new path after you've been in a certain industry for a long period of time. You can change, you can find your path, you can pursue your passion, and you can absolutely be successful. A lot of us, I would love to say, even people of color, like, we stick to things that are safe because we want to make our parents proud, right? We have to get for me, getting education wasn't a choice for me. I'm a first generation American. You have to get your degree, you have to go to college, you get your bachelor's degree, and then you pick something you can make money in. Um, that's what was impressed upon me. Like, pick a job that you can use to support yourself. Certain things, the careers of the arts are not as lucrative as others. So that's the message I received. And pursuing your passion sometimes it's a last minute thing. A lot of American first generation Americans pursue their passion, but y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're brown, if you're brown and you're a first generation American and you're of Caribbean descent, South American descent, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you have to be, a lot of times they say you have to be an engineer, a doctor, lawyer, some sort of prestigious career in order to feel like you've gained respect. But I came to a point when I was like, the pandemic hit, and I kind of like shook up my world a little bit. I got divorced, as I mentioned, pandemic, and then I'm homeschooling my kids for the first time, and I'm seeing life differently. So I was like, why don't I just do the thing that I love to do? I am good at it. I have a lot of reviews. If you go to my website, styleby.net, I'm my Instagram is there. I got a lot of reviews. Everyone I come across says that I'm good at what I do. I met, not to name drop, but let me name drop. I met Dapper Dan at one of these events. He was like, "I like your outfit." I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, Dapper Dan said he loved my outfits. I'm gonna carry that forever. Who else did I meet? Zarina Akers. I met her at an event, and she was like, "Oh, I like this." I was like, "Thank you, Zarina Akers." Like, you're the goat. You're the whole entire goat. So that's, those are people that you might know. And then there's other people, obviously, every single day, that I come across, my styling clients, my fashion styling clients, that recognize something that I am very talented. I know how to put things together different ways. And then also, for context, I'm in my mid 30s. I'm 36. So I understand the meaning of being age appropriate. I am a mother. I have two children. One is actually going to high school. He's going to high school this year. So I feel a little old, but no, I understand the struggle of dressing the woman, that a real woman, with a real body. The average woman in America is a size 16, 18, believe it or not. Like, it's not a 2, it's not a 4. I wear a 6, but I understand that. I have friends, I have family, I have clients that are in the real average size range, and they are, trying to put things together in a way they still want to feel beautiful. They still want to feel youthful. My clients are entrepreneurs, they're professional women, they are executives of the sort. They're high ranking people, and they just want to look beautiful. They want to feel beautiful. When you're a boss and you're out there in the workplace doing your thing, you're in your masculine energy. But at the end of the day, we're still women, and we want to still feel beautiful and sexy and feminine and all those things, and we want to stand out. So for me, I have a celebrity approach. I do not want any of my clients to blend into the wall. I want them to have that it factor where you stand out. So that's always my goal. I want you to stand out and try things differently than you had before. Look at things differently than you had before. If you feel like I could probably do better. Like I like the way I dress. Obviously, we get dressed every single day, but I feel like I want to be more risky. I want to take chances, but also I don't want to look crazy. I don't want to look crazy. I don't want to look like a teenager because I'm not. I want to look better, bolder, more fashion forward. I want to like feel that boss energy. I want to feel like my resume, because a lot of women and even I style men as well, they've accomplished a ton of things, but when they get dressed, it's like, it's the same old kind of thing, and it's like they want to feel like as alive as their work speaks. They want to speak as their work speaks. When you walk in the room, you want to command that presence, without having to riddle off your resume. Say I've done this, I've done that. Um, you want to be able to command that presence, and that's what I do. I help build the confidence, build the energy, build that commanding authority, and also help you be organized. I love organization. When I do my photo shoots for fashion styling, I'm exceptionally organized. I can get done 5 outfits. I can shoot 5 outfits in 2 hours. I'm exceptionally organized, and for anybody that does photo shoots, what a task that is, to between changing and things like that. But I also believe in creating systems to where you are organized, to where you can be better at finding your looks and finding your outfits and organizing your closet, so that, when you're on the go and you're going to your meetings and your presentations and your travel and your vacation and your brunch and your night and your date nights and all that other stuff, you're still the same person, but you have a different outlook on how you can blend things in your closet. So I help with that as well. I'm gonna let you interject before I talk about my boutique that I launched on January 1st.
Well, look, y'all. If I haven't sold it enough, I think she's done a good job of doing that for y'all. But no, if there's one thing that I heard, I think in all of this and just the intro is the
Mhm.
passion, is the journey, but it's also, and I tell people this all the time, no matter what niche, what field you're in, appreciate everything that comes with what you go through. The same way that we are quick to jump for joy and be want to celebrate our accomplishments, the highs and the wins and everything that comes with it, and just the compliments, whether it be Dapper Dan, Serena Akers, like two of the those are some two top tier compliments. I will keep those in my bank forever. But we also have to, take that same approach with the days that are not so good, with the losses, with the lessons, with the learning experiences, because it'll make you really just hone in just a bit more. Maybe you don't like the
Mhm.
way something turned out, or maybe you don't like the way something went. Well, instead of just getting down on yourself, instead of just beating yourself up, instead of completely just pushing it to the side, you can accept that. You can learn from it. You can reflect on it. You can reevaluate it. You can really make some things happen. And I definitely hear that a lot in what you've done. Everything has not been easy for you. There are times where you probably wanted to just close the book and just say, this is it. I don't really
Mhm.
know what life has planned for me, but it may not be what I wanted it to be. But continuing to stay steadfast, continuing to pray, continuing to stand tall in your faith and your passion, and this is what you love to do. It's very evident. I don't think that you just
Mhm.
said everything that you said just because this is something that you want to make money from, or this is something that
Mhm.
you just picked up off the street one day. No, you love this, and I think part of what I'm so curious about is there a specific instance, or is there a specific moment where you really felt like you stepped into your passion? And was there something, because a lot of times I talk to business owners, I talk to entrepreneurs, I talk to creatives, and there was like an aha moment for them. There was just like, wow, like whether it be solving someone else's problem, whether it maybe even be solving their own problem, or somebody came to them with something, or maybe they had, a lot of times I talk to these people and they were like, wow, well, I came across something and there was no true solution for it. There was no true person in that area. So you know what? I decided to propel myself into that. For you, was there something that you really said, did you just wake up one day and you just loved fashion? You just paid attention to how you were dressing, paid attention to how other people were dressing. Did you see something, read something, hear something? What was that really like for you stepping into this lane and this niche?
Okay, so I can tell you about that. So I took up a job at Nordstrom. When I left my 9 to 5 in insurance, I went right to the mall. So I was like, I live in, I'm not sure where you are, but I live in Long Island, which is the suburbs of New York City. And there's not a lot of fashion opportunities like there are in the city itself. So a lot of the fashion opportunities are in the mall. So I took up a job at Nordstrom. And I knew, I had this idea. I wanted to do something different. I'm not going back to financial services. I mean, I can financial service my own my own situation, but so I took up a job in Nordstrom, and then I started to realize, like, without me even explaining to you what I do, like I do now, women will come up to me like, "Hey," they would pass all my coworkers, be like, "Hey, I like your style. What do you think about this outfit? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" And I'm like, okay, like my style speaks for itself. And then they will keep coming back. They would keep coming back to me. Sometimes they didn't even want to buy anything, which was annoying, but they would come back just to talk to me like, hey, I like your energy. I like your vibe. I trust your opinion and I trust you'll be honest with me, you know? So that type of connection is something that made me, I guess, have that aha moment. Like this is a job that is for me. It's therapy, and it's therapy for women, and it's also a physical representation of that, a physical manifestation of that. It's not just clothes. It's more of making you change the way you think. It's making you feel better. Like when women goes to a hairdresser, you're getting your hair done, yes, but then also, what are you doing? You're talking to your hairdresser. You're like, girl, let me tell you about this. This happened, that happened, and your hairdresser is just patient, yeah, listening, and trying to give you the best advice, right? Like your barbers is kind of the same thing. It's a personal relationship that I have with my clients. It's a personal relationship I have with people that entrust me to do my job. Yes, I'm getting you dressed, but I hear you and I see you. I pay attention to things that most don't pay attention to. Here, let me give you an example. I had a woman come up to me. Now, granted, I don't know who people are until they start talking. I had a woman come up to me, and she noticed my style, and I was like, "Oh, I love your bracelet, your nails. Do not girl talk stuff like, girl, you look good." That whole thing. Um, and I started talking to her, and she's like, "I could do better." She's director of CFO or director of finance at somewhere. I forgot what company she said, but she was a very high ranking person. But she saw that I saw her. Like I connect with women in a way that I notice like everything. I notice your nails. I notice hair. I'm like, I notice your outfit. It's not like in a judgmental way, but if you come to me and you're like, I think I could do better. I don't take that trust lightly. I don't take that vulnerability lightly. It takes a lot for women to open up about their insecurities, about things that they feel they could do better about their body, about things that they want to be better at. And I cradle that trust, and I appreciate my clients, and I value the connection that we have. So that's when I feel like I had that moment, and I had several moments like that. I had one of the big wigs, I don't even know, some big wig, I forgot her name. And I was doing my makeup at work, because that's what I do when I'm bored. I go over I will go over to like the makeup section and like start playing in the makeup, and trying stuff on, a little highlighter here, there, whatever. And she's like, wow, I really like how you put on your makeup. Like, I really like, you do it so well. And I'm like, yeah, girl, let me help you. Like, and that moment was a connection. A connection where she has all the credentials in the world. Her resume is very long, but at the same time, she still wants to feel beautiful. She still wants to feel feminine. She wants to feel seen. She wants to be able to be vulnerable with someone that can work through those vulnerabilities with her. And like I said, like a therapist, I'm not licensed. I'm not licensed to be a therapist, but I do know beauty. I do know women. I do know fashion. I know what it's like to be insecure and hoping that someone can help you. Like I learned all this from YouTube, like all my makeup, like, it's part of what I was doing in the pandemic. But Jackie Ina, that YouTube girl, like she pours her heart out over these YouTube videos, and it's like, okay, she's somebody I can relate to. And that's part of why I wrote my book, my number one bestselling book, Style by Independence, as well, because I want you to know, like, I understand what it's like to be broken and to come out of a divorce and be struggling to raise your kids and having life go a direction you didn't think it would take. It took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree. Having adversity, but still overcoming it and still coming out on the other side and still being beautiful in the process. So there's that. And then I want to tell you about my boutique really quickly. I don't know how much time we have. But
Got
I did.
as time as you need. Trust
Okay.
me.
So I'm going to tell you about my boutique really quickly. 3 years ago, I had an idea to launch a boutique for millennial moms. That's what I am. I'm a millennial. I am a mom. And early on in my process, I realized that there was a need for women with postpartum bodies. Like we have the little pouch. I don't know who started. Somebody called Fupa. I think it was Beyonce. I'm not sure. They call it like Fupa, like the back row. Like we have fat deposits, and we can't just go and wear the stuff from Forever 21. We can't just go pick off stuff off the rack. We have to be careful in the things we put on our bodies, because we want to accentuate the right ideas, the right areas, and downplay the ones that we don't really care for so much. So I thought of an idea to create items that I would curate personally, that where a millennial mom could go there and shop and put anything on and their body would look amazing. It would conceal like the poop. I know it's hard, you're a man, but just stick with me. Stick with me here. Conceal like the little poof areas, and still accentuate, like maybe you have a little V, or like things that, and considering the age too, so they're not too sexy, they're not too much, they're conservative, They're age appropriate, they're sexy, and they hide like, the little areas. So 3 years ago, I thought of this idea, and I just been getting, for the last 3 years, I've been struggling with this. Like, I've been getting in my own way. Finally, January 1st, I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I did launch a clothing line January 1st. Style by Be the shop. I didn't make the clothes. I just merchandise it. I wholesale clothes and I merchandise it. So there are a few pieces. I think there's 10 I just sold out. I did a couple pop-up shops this month. I sold out a one variation of my item. I'm selling out on, I'm just little by little, I'm just Xing them all. I'm just selling them all out. So check on my website, styleby.net. It's a limited time experience. Whatever sells out, it's gone, it's gone. And then hopefully, I'll come up with something else. Right now, it only includes sizes 2 to 10. But in the future, I'm looking to expand into plus sizes. I want inclusion. I want all these things. But this is just a starting point for me, and it is very encouraging to see that I'm already selling out of certain items. So,
And you got to start somewhere. So I'm definitely not mad at that at
mhm,
all. And it's definitely, the fact that you're already thinking forward a bit and figuring out, like you said, you're going to take a little by little. You're not really rushing. You're,
mhm,
again, what we talked about in the beginning, appreciating everything that's to come with this process. It's not going to always move as fast as we want, but slow
yeah,
progress is better than no progress at all. So, and I love the fact that
yeah,
you're just trying to be so inclusive of everyone, because I feel like too, that can really just be I feel like that can just be sometimes just a con when it comes to fashion. That certain
yeah,
stores, certain places, certain boutiques, certain business owners, clothing brands, they're only conducive to one type of person, whether it just be
yeah,
women's clothing, whether it just be men clothing, whether it be plus size
mhm,
clothing, whether it be big and tall, different things like that. And I feel like the more we try to include everyone, just the more accepting and the more comfortable
yeah,
we'll make people, because shopping is not the easiest thing. And I think a lot of times too, that's why everyone's moved towards this online narrative. Now it's just certain things
yeah,
you can't do online. Like for me, I can't really. It's just certain things that you can't get online. For me, sneakers, I'm really it's a hit or miss. The only sneakers I really get online
mhm,
are like my Jordan, my ones, or anything like that. But anything else, I need to be able to try
okay,
it on. Everything is different. I need to be able to walk in and feel. And there's certain clothing, certain hoodies,
mhm,
you can figure some things out. But I think that sometimes it's not the best experience. Sometimes you can spend all day in a mall or in a certain store and you just
yeah,
don't find anything for you, or you're not really like the colors, or you're not really like the fit, and it not really be inclusive to, like you said, just those different body parts, what you want to accentuate versus not so much what you don't want to see, or anything of the sort. So
mhm,
I love that. I love that you're getting a start in something, have gotten a start in something, and you want to focus on a particular, I would say, a particular group of individuals who may not get always attention. People are not thinking about postpartum for
mhm,
women, especially,
yeah.
especially not men. Men coming into a clothing brand, the last thing I feel like they're kind of thinking about, but that's very much relevant. And that could
Mhm,
very much be a group that's affected, and it may not feel as though it may not feel as included, because their body has changed. What they once knew to
yeah,
be, or what they once were, it's changed. Childbirth is a beautiful thing, but the recovery, it can be a process, most definitely.
yeah,
So I love that for sure. But and you kind of already touched on this, but I want to take a deeper dive into it now. Just branding and becoming styled by B. What really,
yeah,
as you said, you were working in Nordstrom. Shout out to Nordstrom's. You were
yeah,
having women you were exuding that confidence. People were coming back to you just because of your energy, just because of the yourself, the fits, and you were putting it on every day and everything like that.
mhm.
That you could offer and everything. Where really and what really, I guess, at what point did you really say, "Hey, I want to brand myself. I want this to be me," because I feel like once the brand came, the boutique was there. Like you said, the best selling book was there. Everything. Now you have this Instagram, you have the brand that you built then and there. But where did
Mhm.
Style by B really get its origin? Was it when you did the Millennial Moms thing? Was that something separate? Did you kind of just take Millennial Moms and build on that? What was that journey to really becoming Style by B and have this brand that you do today, right now?
Sure. Yeah. So I can tell you about that. Now, just to your point, you said like shopping is a difficult experience and it's hard. Now, one of the things I thought about when I started my styling business is number one, what are women looking for? What do women need? What do women with children need? What do busy women need? Women who are professional, women that are all over the place normally and don't have time to shop, because that's usually the source of the problem. It's a lack of creativity and it's also a lack of time. So women in these situations, my clients usually are very safe. They play it safe, they get done what they have to get done at work, and then the outfit, they just pick something safe. So what I wanted to create was an experience where women could have everything at once. You can't have it all. So what I did was I offered a service where I started off doing streetwear, and then I realized when you do streetwear, that's kind of like entertainment. The professional women are not wearing streetwear to work. They're not wearing streetwear to their business meetings. So I said, okay, let's do professional women, and also let me have a service where I can bring them the clothes. So that's my core service, where I bring you a rack of clothes. After a thorough consultation with you, I bring your rack of clothes to where I knock out everything all at once. So I understand what your sizes are. I do your measurements beforehand. I look through your closet beforehand. I talk to you about what goals you're looking to meet. And then I bring you the clothes all at once and we go through it. And I understand how styling works. You know, if you go to the store, you buy stuff online because that's where most of the stuff are. You might buy one size, maybe you'll buy two. If it doesn't fit, you send the whole thing back. And then it was essentially a waste of 2 weeks, you know? You're like, oh, I expected this to be this way, but then it's this way. So I cut that out. I order the stuff for you. I order maybe two or three sizes, different variations of different things that would fit you. You know, if you're into like dresses, pants, shoes, whatever it is that you're into, I order different variations of that and I bring it to you. So that way it's a one-stop experience. You take what you take, and usually I am going to my own horn. 90% of the time I'm right. 90%. And a good part of this job as a personal stylist is having being able to read people, being able to understand what it is that you would wear. And I have male clients too. Understand what it is that you would wear, what it is that you wouldn't wear, and bringing you that, because people want to be a version of themselves. They don't want to be somebody else. You know, you want to be a better version of who you are. And you want to feel like yourself. You want to feel like your most powerful self. You want to feel like, you know, I have male clients, they're looking to level up in their career. They're entrepreneurs. They're, you know, getting promoted and things like that. They're like, how do I dress like that boss? Like, I'm here dressing like my comfortable self, and then I see this you know, boss image in my head. I'm like, how do I get from here to there? Women is the same. Like, I'm a boss. Usually women is the opposite. Like, you know, they have done a lot of stuff already, but then they're like, okay, so how do I look like my resume? How do I get from here to there? So I'm like, all right, I connect the dots for you, because usually you don't have time to figure out, and it's not even really a priority. You just have to get to your meetings and get to your events and spend time with your children, spend time with your family, your husband, your spouse, your boyfriend, your, you know, your, do your stuff that you normally do. And the getting dressed is usually the bottom of the ladder. So I bring all the things that you need to feel like that boss, whether you want to feel like that boss at work and or brunch and or date night. You're getting back, you're divorced, you're trying to get your confidence back, you're promoted, you're, you know, trying to figure out how you're going to show up for yourself in the next stage of your life. You're looking to open a new business, because a lot of my clients, if you're an entrepreneur, chances are you own more than one business. It's like, you know, you're building different things, you're looking into doing different directions. So I take that thing off your plate. I bring to you outfits that are, you know, speak to you, speak to your style. And that's what I realized was my brand. The brand was speaking to professional women and professional men that were looking to elevate further than they already were. It's not that anything's wrong or you need a makeover. And, you know, I hate the shows from the 90s where they would make over people and make them look like somebody else. Because I'm like, when they say cut, they're going back to their life. That's not who they are. Like, I'm not into that. Like, I want you to be the best version of yourself. I want you to see yourself in these things and then wear it. You know, it might be a little bit uncomfortable at first because it's not your comfort clothes, but it's going to be a version of you that is your best self. So that is my brand. It is very pretty. It is very pink. It is very feminine, speaking to the feminine energy that women naturally want to embody. Even if you're a boss and you're a bull and you're doing your thing at work, naturally you want to be feminine. You want to be pretty. You want to be taken care of. You want to have that type of fragility, you know, not necessarily that you're frail, but like, you know, you want to feel beautiful. You want to feel feminine. You want to feel youthful. Even if you're 40, 50, or 60, you want to feel youthful. You don't want to give up and wear the, you know, the grandma frock and, you know, hide your face and, you know, the hat with the, you don't want to give up. Like, you're like, I'm still alive and I want to look beautiful and feminine. So that's the brand that I present. I really focus on that because I know what it is to be there. I know what it's like to want to feel in your feminine power. And, you know, I translate that to my clients as well. And then, you know, the men, I help you get where you need to be as well.
That was a beautiful answer. I love every bit of that. I just love the intention behind everything that you do, because I know that it
Thank
can
you.
it can almost feel like a never ending process. It can just definitely
Hmm.
feel like something that you're always working, even with the fashion. Because
Always.
something that I've talked to a few people in industry, and I feel like every industry evolves and moves at its own pace, but some are just all wheels are always turning. And I definitely do think
Hmm.
fashion is one of those things. You go to I just had one of my fraternity brothers. He was in Tokyo, and he was like, "Bro, like." They just seem so far ahead, so far advanced as to
Yeah.
what we're doing. Like some of the stuff they're wearing out there,
Yeah. Japan is.
haven't seen yet. And Japan's, you know, and you go out there and they have
Hmm.
some of the newest stuff. And I even remember going to Syracuse, a lot of the Japanese, the Chinese, those Asian students, they had stuff that it was just like, dad, like we didn't
They're trendsetters.
together. Like, where did you get that from? Or they were putting certain things together. I
Mhm.
was just so confused. Like, wow. So I know that even when you're not working per se, you're not helping clients, you're always just researching, you're always just looking. And that,
Absolutely.
for me, your mind is always racing. And that really relates to me a lot because I feel like I'm always doing that. Whereas like the podcast media industry, yeah, it evolves, it moves around, it changes, but it's just something that you always just want to keep up. I feel like there's a plethora of podcasts out there, a lot of different business owners, entrepreneurs, or the work
Mhm.
job not done, or job is always finished. But I would say something that I've noticed with that is just productivity. Always just wanting to stay ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. And something that's kind of helped me do that more recently is Magic Mind. And for those of y'all who don't know Magic
Okay.
Mind, we're going to say that Magic Mind, as they call themselves, is the world's first productivity drink. So for those of y'all who y'all load up on the caffeine every morning, first thing you got to do when you wake up is have the coffee, go to Starbucks, get the gift cards, do whatever. Let me just put another bug in your ear. Let me just show you something that can kind of put you on a different, natural, a more holistic route. Magic Mind was something that I started using. You know, it's just a little shot. You can chill them, take one during the day, in the morning preferably, and really just watch it transform your day. It was something, as me, as somebody who stays away from caffeine in all regards. Can I also just tell y'all too, something I realized that growing up, I had no idea. So growing up, Sprite was always one of my favorite sodas. Why am I just realizing at my 27 years of age that Sprite and ginger ale do not have caffeine in them? I did not know that. Maybe a lot of y'all knew that. I had no idea about that. So maybe that's just new news to me, but I really try to stay away from caffeine. I don't drink coffee. All of my teas are decaffeinated, but Magic Mind has really been something that's kind of helped me from the ingredients. Like you have your matcha, which I had no idea what it was about. I had to have the matcha girlies, the matcha people kind of come in and educate me and kind of let me know what's going on. But I love the lion's mane mushroom. I love the ashwagandha. I love everything that they kind of have going on. But why I really enjoy it is just because of how it makes me feel, how my focus is. You know, me, I can go work my 9 to 5 job, and as soon as I clock out at 5, it's podcast time. And so I have to really shift my mind from, I just had all this stuff to do at where I may not even be done at 5 o'clock, but I have to now shift to podcast mode. Okay, who are we talking to today? What content do I have to put out? What am I promoting? Did I hit my social media marks today? Where are my numbers at? Did I release things? Do I have shows coming up, events coming up, giveaways, anything of the sort? Do I need to connect with Brenda to make sure we're good for today's interview? It's just always an ever turning wheel. So I would say Magic Mind definitely just allows me to kind of have that tunnel vision. And that's why I recommend it to a lot of different people. A lot of people who may just feel like their mind is like a hamster on a wheel, just always running. Something is always done. Even when you're sleeping, even when you're calm on the road, listening to music, it's always just moving a mile a minute. So something that I also want to offer to y'all is just a bit of a discount. They started the year off with a bang, as we did, and they're offering some promotions for y'all. So if you go to www.magicmind.com/Jan, Jan, Tamar, my first name, Tamar 20, you'll be able to get 1 month free of 3 months. But okay, let's just say you don't want to do 3 months at a time. If you just want to do an extra 20% off, it'll get you 75. You can just use my code. So my code is Tamar20, TAMAR20. So definitely visit Magic Mind. Definitely check it out. I'd be more than willing to talk to anybody about my experience with it, how it's made me feel, everything of the sort. But I love it. I definitely recommend it to anybody looking, just like I said, to go more of that natural, that holistic route, but still stay productive at the same time. So now, Brenda, I'm very curious. I have talked to a few published authors on here. I've now talked to and I'm pretty sure I have in the past as well. So forgive me if I'm saying this wrong. But for you, you're a number one best-selling author now. I love that. That lit a fire under me. I remember when you were telling me about the book and everything like that. And something I want to offer too to anybody out there who's listening, to anybody out there who's made it this far in the episode, if you want to take me up on my offer, I want to send you a free copy of Brenda's book. So to anybody who's at this 31 minute, 32-minute mark in the interview and you hear me saying this, all you have to do is DM my personal page, DM the podcast page. Hey, I heard that you were giving away a free copy of Brenda's book. Just give me your address, where to send it and everything, and I will be sending that to you just the same, because I definitely think that she has quite the story to tell, and I would love for you to tap in not only with her, but her journey along the way. So now, with you specifically, was a book always on the horizon? Was this something you always knew that you wanted to do? Was there as we kind of spoke about before, was there an aha moment and you said, hey, I want to share this journey. I want to really put this together. Was this something that as you were working through different things and once you left corporate America, you started just to note things? Because I feel like, as I kind of spoke to in the past, I used to think writing a book was the most complicated thing in the world. And it's not to say that it is or it isn't. I think it really depends on who you are and how you look at it. But as
Yeah.
I started to talk to different people and open up my mind a little bit, it doesn't seem as hard as I may have thought it to be. And it's definitely something I'm interested in doing, but I'm always interested to hear people's creative process and what really sparked that for them. So for you, for your book, for getting there, what really, one, well, I guess this is a two-part question. I would say one, where did the idea come from? But two, just walk me through a little bit of that process. You don't have to give us every single nook and cranny because I know it could have been
Mhm.
right the process where it probably was a lot going on. But what was that really like? Authoring this, seeing it published, promoting it, and then now becoming topping the charts. Basically, like you said, it sat up there for some time. So
Mhm.
I think that's still, even if it didn't sit up there, I think that's an accomplishment itself. The fact that you were able to become a published author. So for my people out there, whether they've written books, whether they're thinking about it, whether they just love to read, or whether they want that free copy, as I spoke about, can you just tell us a little bit about that process and how everything was kind of ignited?
Okay, sure. I can definitely tell you. So, funny story. I was not looking to write this book. I was looking to write. I have another book written that I'm going to release sometime in the middle of this year. That I want to be a workbook, and I didn't want to tell my story. I didn't want to have people in my business. I don't want to have people in my business. But so I went to an event and I met with this publisher, and in the meeting with the publisher, she was like, yeah, this book is nice, it's actually ready to go, you could publish it on Amazon by yourself, it's good to go. She's like, this is good, but what is your story? Like, why are you doing this? You're into fashion, that's nice, but how did you get here? What is Every time we do social media or like public relations, you always have to have a story, right? So she's like, what's your story? And I'm like, well, my story is, and then I told her what I told you. And, 2020 shook up my world. And then I got divorced. And, I thought my world is the world as I knew it was done. But there was a new world for me. There was a new life for me. And I found connecting with that life through my skill of fashion, my skill of styling, and my skill of getting myself together in a way that I had never before. And in a way I couldn't have before because I got divorced at 32. When I went to FIT, I was 21. Like, I'm two different people. So even if I was, it's two different people, it's two different worlds. And I had to get myself together through this process. And in getting myself together, I found that I could help other women as well. I could help other people in the strength I found in myself, the creative ability I found in myself, that I could help other women find their voice as well when I got myself. And that's a message to everyone who feels like they are hesitant about doing something that they feel called to do. And I've heard this before, your gift it's going to affect other people. You just don't know it yet. And same with you, Tamar. Like, the strides and the things that you're doing is breaking barriers for other people. It's showing other people what is possible for them. Your blessing is connected to other people's blessings. So you got to let that gift out. You got to keep pushing, get through it. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but because you have that everlasting fire. Let's say that it's just a fire. Even when things get hard, I love doing what I do so much. I love helping women. I love transformations. I love speaking life to women and speaking positivity to women and telling women that you can get through this. That even if their situation is not like, life shifting, it's like you can be who you want to be. Nobody defines your future for you. You define if you want to dress different, let's do it. How are we going to do this? Let's go shopping right now. I'll send you some outfits right now. Let's get the shoes. Let's get it together now. Like, there's no reason to sit on what you want to do, because now is the time. So when I communicated that message in my book, number one best-selling book, Style by Independence, I communicate my ups and downs and my journey and everything like that. To be honest, I wrote it in 2 days. I wrote it in 2 days. And so the surprising thing that helped me was writing content. So I've been writing content. We're in 2024, and you know it too, because you write like that. Before there was Chat GPT, we were out there on the internet writing every single day, captions by hand, stories by hand. We were doing this, we were out here by ourselves, and I can write a story like that now. It can be very, very quick. So it took me 2 days start to finish, and then maybe like, a couple hours, not even an hour, maybe like a couple minutes here and there editing it. But to write the story start to finish, it took me 2 hours. I knew exactly what I wanted to say. The story has been in my heart for years, and I finally got the chance to share it in the format that I wanted to share it with, on my terms. Nobody's going to tell my story. I'm going to tell my own story. And this is what I want you to know. And this is what I want you to know about my story. I want you to know about the fact that I had postpartum depression when I had my first child. I want you to know about the fact that it took me 10 years to graduate college. I want you to know that, style has been a rock for me. Like, I know style, it can't be, I don't know what people are going to say, but it's been a rock for me. Like, it's been a way for me to have an outlet when I felt like I didn't know what else to do with myself. And a lot of people are like that with creative things. Like maybe you're an artist or you're an entertainer or you have you're creatively inclined and you have this gift that calms you down. It, helps you, it helps other people. It's a hobby maybe. And you're like, I want to go pro with this thing. I just don't know how. And a lot of us creative people struggle with business plans, as we're used to creating, hire that business coach. Make sure you check their resume first. Hire that business coach so they can show you how to get to the next level. I hired a business coach towards the end of middle of last year that helped me get to a different level. There's certain things you don't have to invest in everything. And by all means, do not invest in everyone that promises you things that sound good. But you really have to go do your research, and figure out what you want to do, because nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you what your story is. Figure out what it is that you want to say and make sure you say only that. Don't let people take you in different directions. In this internet age, there's a million different rivers. Like, stick to what you want to do, stick to your point, get the book done. Don't worry if it's imperfect. It was very hard for me to write about certain things, but I said, you know what, it's going to be written. I'm going to do it. Push through it, get that manuscript done, send it to editing, and think about it later.
It's a message, y'all. I hope y'all listening. No matter where you are in your journey, some of y'all may not even know it yet, but you may get inspired just from hearing that. Or at some point, you may have started writing a book or thinking that you wanted to. You may have psyched yourself out, as I did many years ago, just thinking that it was really harder than what it was. But just make it happen. Put a thought into action. Put a plan into action, and it can happen. The same way I never foresaw myself starting a podcast. We're 4 years in, so here it is. Anything can really happen. And like you said, once you kind of start, nobody can tell your story like you. Nobody knows what you went through like you. Nobody can really talk about your mindset and different things like that. So as you start to articulate and go, you may even realize that you wrote way more than what you were expecting, or did way more than what you were
Mhm.
expecting. So something that this kind of made me think about, something that I saw, a tweet I was scrolling a couple of weeks ago. It was just like, yo, why don't we start thinking about everything that you do this year and write it down? That way, when you get to December, you'll have, because I can't tell you that I wish I would have done that for 2023. It was so many times I was just trying to recall certain things, or some people were even reminding me certain things, or it took me scrolling through social media or going through some texts or some emails to really realize some of the accomplishments and things that I had, small, big, medium, it doesn't matter. Just write everything down. That way you can reflect on things. But that can also be a way
Mhm.
to guide you through your journey. There were days that were good. There were days that were bad. There were days that were in between, but nonetheless, you made it through every single day. So another thing that we like to do here on the podcast is we like to tease a little bit. We like to kind of look into the future. We like to kind of not spoil anything, but give as much as we can for our people tapping in, for the audience and everything like that. So obviously we are very early in the year. January, for some it may have flown by, for some it may have been slow. For me, it's been pretty fast. I'm not going to lie, y'all. And y'all know Black History Month is about to be just like that too, just the same. So we'll be in March before we know it. But is there anything that you're working on, anything that you're diving into as we speak, any collaborations, partnerships, even different, I would say, fields or lanes that you're looking to move into, maybe this year, maybe coming up, anything that you can we can be on the lookout for? Because as I spoke to in the beginning, I think that we're going to have obviously some people from your side, we're going to have people from my side, but we're going to have some newcomers along the way, some people who are just like, yo, I don't know who that lady was, but I love the energy. I love her passion. I'm a fashion guru. I thought I was a fashionista and everything, but she took it to another level. I got to tap in with her. So for people that are coming across you for the first time, is there anything that they can expect moving forward? Anything to keep their eyes on the lookout for?
Sure. Yeah. So I have a Valentine's Day masterclass coming up. The date is pending, but follow me on Instagram. Instagram is I am Style by B. My website is styleby.net. If you follow me on Instagram, join my email list. Every week I send out weekly updates. I'm going to send an email as soon as we get off of this call. I send about 3 emails a week, style tips, how to style this 3 ways. This is coming up on the fashion scene. Look at this style news. I'm going to be here. Like every week I send like tips. So keep a lookout for my Valentine's Day masterclass. It's going to help you love yourself, help you learn how to dress your body, help you learn how to identify your true style. And that is coming up in February, in a couple weeks.
Told you, I knew she was working on something, man. I've been seeing too many flyers. She's been doing too much. I've been reposting. I hope y'all been paying attention. I've been reposting what she's been doing, y'all. She's been doing some amazing work. I try to show as many business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives as much love as I can. And sometimes I miss things, but Brenda has been killing the game. Trust me, y'all. I'm glad that we tapped in when we did,
Thank you.
because there's so much really coming to it. So two more things before we wrap this up. So first and foremost, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for all the, as I spoke in the beginning, just the grace, just the understanding with me, just being patient with me,
No
just recognizing
problem.
that, we all had life going on and things were happening. But nonetheless, like I told you, we were going to make this happen. We were going to do things. You always wished me well. You always checked in on me, checked in on the family, sent me well wishes, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. It all meant so much to me in a time where the world just felt like it was just moving and moving and moving and moving. So thank you so much for that. But I also just want to thank you for your transparency on here. I know that the journey, everything that you've gone through, it has been far from easy. From, like you said, the PPD to postpartum depression to the 10-year journey to getting your degree to just everything that kind of came with it. Sometimes just waking up and not feeling the motivation that you once felt. Sometimes just feeling like things were hard, getting pregnant your first semester, everything of the sort. And now just becoming the woman who you are and still developing into and really just making it happen as a bomb mother, a bomb business owner, a bomb entrepreneur, a bomb, you could be a host, honestly, the way you kind of came up there, just like that. So I love it. I know you're doing your own thing in your event space. So I thank you for everything that you've done in that regard. But something I also want to offer you the opportunity to now is just, do you have anything that you feel like we haven't touched on, we haven't talked about, even any last words that you want to leave for other business owners out there, other creatives out there, other people within the fashion industry, people who may even have a similar journey to yours, people who may not always be feeling motivated, people who may not really know where their story is going to go. People who may just have gone through one experience and they feel like, things are over. They really have kind of lost hope. Is there anything that you want to leave the people out there with before we wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. So I really believe in it's cliche, don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. I know we heard that a lot when we were kids, like don't give up. It's a real thing because there's so many reasons to not do it. There's so many reasons to quit. Like I'm a single mother, I had a 9 to 5 job and I was working on my business at the same time at one point. Like there you got family, you got friends, your body, like, there's always an easy way out. Like there's always a way to not do it, but you just have to find a way. Like even if you take a rest, like don't give up. Like even if you take a couple days off, if it turns into a week or so, be like, you know what? Tomorrow I got to do something for my business. Tomorrow I have to do, even if it's small. That's how you start. It's a little small thing that you do so far as sending an email, making a post, doing something to get you back, and then follow that up with something, progress easier, and then you start getting back on the train. But you got to keep going. I've had times where I've taken a break from social media. I took, 6 months off at one point because I was like, let me figure out and then I came back with a rebrand. I was stronger than ever. I had the most profitable year that I ever had in my business last year because I had to get it together. Like if you take a break, make sure there's a purpose to it. You're behind the scenes, you're trying to figure out and you're making moves. I had a photo shoot in the chamber. I had a business coach that I was seeing. Like I had different things to help me, and I do photo shoots as well. If you're looking to do branding for your photo shoot, I got you. I do styling. I know people. If you're in New York, holla at me. I know makeup artists, photo shoot people. I do styling. So make sure that when you're taking time off, it's resting, but also like keep at it, keep trying. I love that you said that. I'm also looking for public speaking engagements. I can send you my information. I love inspiring women and people who are looking to take a change in their life, to make a change in their life. Even if you feel like it's too hard, I can't do it, it's too late for me, I'm just going to stay here, it's more comfortable. You don't have to live that way. You don't have to be in a place where you can do better. It just takes one foot in front of the other. You're going to fall, but it's one foot in front of the other. Just get up and keep going.
Whew. All right, y'all. Look, we're all about connecting here. We're all about networking. We're all about just the like-minded individuals and learning. I think that's the biggest thing here. I think just take a nugget from this, and I think just rewinding this. I think just going through this, picking a spot, and really just honing in. It could really even be a call to action to you in your business, in your life, personal, financial, spiritual, anything of the sort. But we have resources, and these people are not offering themselves up just because these people are genuinely offering themselves up. Brenda, in this case, because she wants to help, she wants to inspire. She's maybe been there, done that. She's a bit more experienced. She may have been in the exact same shoes as you, and you won't even realize it until you just tap into her, pick her brain a little bit. But nonetheless, she wants to make you feel beautiful, look good, kill that next speaking engagement, anything of the sort. The possibilities are endless. So let's just make it happen. I got a lot of people up north, but I have a lot of people along the West Coast. But everybody is on social media. So it's no excuse at
Hmm.
that point. So I know you gave it earlier, but I always like to end the episode with this just because I know people kind of scroll through, skip around, but I know this is what they'll look forward to at the end just the same. Can you just give us all the social media, all the best places to reach you, tap into you as far as upcoming events, everything, all things Brenda, all things I'm Styled by B?
Sure. The easiest thing I can tell you is stylebyb.net. My Instagram is connected there. My LinkedIn is connected there. I do updates as you sign up. You can sign up for my mailing list on there. So stylbyb.net is the go-to place for you.
All right, y'all. So look, y'all heard. I feel like there have been call to actions here. I feel like there have been inspirations here. There have been just, but through it all, I've just heard the passion. I heard the passion from the beginning, that first answer that she gave, to the last answer that she gave, to just what she's going to continue to do, to the master class that are coming up, to the events that's coming up, to how she just wants to, as I spoke to, offer herself as a resource to you, to your journey, to be there to help. As I spoke about, I'll give it to y'all again for those who were listening. If you want that free copy of the book, DM me, Down to Business Podcast, Mar26 _ doesn't really matter. Find it, do it. If not, I'll take two for myself. It doesn't really matter. I love reading. I actually just started another book anyway, so it's all good. But we spoke about a lot here today. So again, I want to thank you, Brenda, for everything. Thank you for allowing this to happen. Thank you for coming on here and really just and just being that light, just being what we needed to hear today, just everything that you do. And I'm very excited to continue to tap into the journey, to continue to see everything that you have going on. And obviously, you have a big supporter, a lot of love coming from Down to Business side of things. So to everybody who continuously taps in with us, no matter where you are, United States, across the country, everything of the sort, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. As I said, look, if we start in 2024 off like this, just January, the next 11 months, just stick with us. There's a lot coming. So thank y'all again. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner.